Builders for East say wetin happen. Another war won't start where I don't know.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. Thank you for tuning in. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about why Igbo people, particularly Igbo men, why they build gigantic mansions in the village, even if they do not have a proper apartment in the city where they reside. In the previous video, I took you guys to Igboland and I showed you a couple of these houses for you guys to see exactly what I'm talking about, okay? In this video, if you want to know the reasons why they build such houses, and if you want to know how other people relate to this, what other people think about this, then please keep watching.
Hey, Mrs. Francis. Hey, Mrs. Francis.
Let me start by telling you what some people think about this. Some people think it's okay. Some people believe that before they build anywhere, they must build. Even some women believe that you must have a house at home. And I'm going to tell you guys the reason, like I said. But again, some people think it's just waste. This is just stupidity. You're just wasting money you would have used to invest in something that can fetch you and your family money. You use it to go and build a house in the village. Some people do not visit the village, okay? They only go like once a year. Some people go once in 3 years. So why would I go and build a house in the village? Sorry, forgive Jam Jam. Why would I go and build a house in the village and lock the house up? Nobody's in there to warm the house. I will still spend money to pay someone to go and clean the house for me once in a while. And the house is just there wasting. No human lives, no ventilation. It's just locked up. Why would I do that? Spending 50 million naira, building this mighty mansion, and it's going to be locked up. It's just stupid. Meanwhile, in Lagos or in New York, you're living in the ghetto. You're living in one room. How does that make sense? That's what some people think about this. I'd like to know what you think. Before we go ahead, please just type your thoughts on this. Are you Igbo? Do you have a house in the village? Do you think it is necessary to, first of all, build in the village before anywhere else? You know, just picture this. So you live in, let's say you live in Port Harcourt, Nigeria, or you live in the UK, and yeah, in Port Harcourt, you live in a face me I face your apartment, like a place where everybody in the compound is sharing the same bathroom and toilet. Okay, let me not make it so bad. Okay, you live in an apartment in Port Harcourt where you pay 1.5 million naira every single year, and your family, you have kids, you have a wife, you have people living with you, and you know you guys have to pay this rent, and you're in a 2-bedroom apartment. So if you have money, would you rather, you know, buy a land in Port Harcourt and build a big house that will accommodate you and your family, or would you carry that money and go to the village? In the village, you don't need to buy a land because most of these people inherited lands from their forefathers, okay? So the land is free. Just carry money and go and build a house in the village. You personally, which do you prefer? Which would you do? To be very honest, please type it down in the comments. I would love to know. Some people feel like, why are you being bitter? Why are you trying to tell me how to spend the money that I worked for? If I decide to throw my money away, it's my money. Just the way you might decide to change cars every year, it's your money. Some people spend their money on women. Some people spend their money, you know, partying. Some people spend their money going for vacations all around the world. It's not your business if I choose to erect a building in my place. It's my village, it's my money. So which one be your own inside? Do you agree with that? Guys, in the previous video, I got some comments of some people saying that, oh, you've not traveled outside Nigeria before. Like, they know. You've not traveled outside Nigeria before. You don't know what you're talking about. Those people just chose not to understand what I am talking about. I'm not saying that, oh, some other villages in this world don't have beautiful mansions. I'm saying that it has become a popular tradition amongst the Igbo'S to build in their, you know, country homes. And it's just not just me showing you guys houses. It is a thing. If you're Igbo, you know what I'm talking about. It's a thing that Igbo'S do. And then let me move on to tell you why they do this. Between 1967 to 1970, there was a war in Nigeria. It's called the Biafran War. And then Igbo people across the country fled. They had to run for their lives. You know, it was serious war, and people had to really just, you know, come back home to the village. And when they did, they had serious housing shortage. Like, they realized that they were busy developing other parts of Nigeria, because Igbo's actually up till now are into development. Like, when you go to major cities, I'm not saying other tribes do not own buildings, okay, but when you go to major cities, you see plazas, you see houses, malls. Most of these things are owned by Igbo people, okay? They just believe in such investments. So when they came back home, they lost everything they had across Nigeria. This is one reason, okay? There are other reasons, but this is the major reason. This is the reason. This is what started this thing, okay? So they realized that they had built in other parts, in the north, in the west, in the south. No, basically in the north. And even in Port Harcourt too. Like, they lost things across Nigeria. I was not born, so I know very little about this. They realized that they lost everything, and at home they had nothing. They came back home to probably mud houses, and the houses were not really enough to accommodate them. So this practice, they call it akoluno. It means that wealth must reach home. Like, wealth must come home. Wealth and riches must reach us, you know. They realized that they were developing other places and they had nothing. So since then, they decided that before I develop anywhere, I must, this is where the thing started from, okay? I must build, I must have a home in my hometown. And then some people think that, or some people are against the fact that these houses are very mighty mansions. Why are you building? Please forgive my son. If you want to build in your village, why not just build a small bungalow? Because these mansions actually look like wastes to a lot of people, because like I said, it's not being inhabited, okay? So why not just build 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, just a small house? Why must you go all out? Are you trying to show off? The thing is that Igbo people are very family conscious, okay? So when they're building, okay, for example, I'm a man, I'm the first son. I have 4 brothers, I have a sister, I have parents. So when I'm building, I'll think of everybody. Oh, in case my brother cannot build his house soon and he gets married, him and his wife should have a place. So they build with their family members in mind. Oh, my parents are there. Oh, they need to, you know, live in this house. If my sister comes home for a holiday or whatever, she should have, if she comes with her friends, if there is a wedding going on, my brother is getting married, and we have visitors, where would they stay? How would they go and stay in a hotel when we have a home? So that's what they put in their minds when they are building these big houses. It's not just for them and their wives most of the time. They have their brothers, their uncles, like family members in mind. Like, they have to accommodate family members. Most of the time, you don't even know who owns the house, because the house is just there and open for everybody to come in at any point in time. So you might say that, oh, I do not go home for Christmas. But if I don't go home for Christmas, or if I don't go home often, my sister might go home once in a while. My brother might have 1 or 2 things to do in the east. Instead of him to stay in the hotel, there's a big house that is very comfortable. That's the mindset. Another reason why they do this is because they feel like the final resting place of a man should be his house. Like, it's not really ideal for a man to die and be buried in his parents' house, okay? So they think that I'm going to finally retire. I'm going to finally retire, and this is where I'm going to settle in. After I finish working in wherever, after I finish living abroad, after I've, you know, when I'm old, I'm going to retire back home, because they believe in retirement. They believe, most of the times, most of them actually, or some of them actually retire and come back to the village. Once they are old, 80 years, 75 years old, they come back home. So when I retire, I want a place that I'll be very comfortable in, you know. So I'm going to retire back home, and when I die, I want to be buried in my own house, so I can feel at home, even in the grave. That's another reason why they do this. They do this also to safeguard their ancestral land. In most parts of Igboland, if not all, land is the most prized possession. I mean, somebody's father might just leave it, or grandfather might leave a house for the person, and the rich might snatch the land from the poor. The strong can snatch land from the weak. Men snatch lands from women. People die because of land. Like, I'm sure you've seen this in most Nollywood movies. It happens in some parts of Igboland. So in order for me not to have story and drama with this land now, I'm just going to go and build on it to safeguard this land. See, lands are expensive in the villages. You might think that, oh, because some lands are free. No. Some parts of Igboland, their lands are more expensive than some cities in Nigeria. So it's not easy to get a piece of land, whether it's a farmland or you want to develop on that land. Lands are not cheap, okay? Lands in the East are far from cheap. So that's why most men leave lands for their children and grandchildren, so that they can have their own lands. If they want to farm, if they want to develop the land, so they can have their own piece of land at home. So building a house on the land is the surest way to safeguard the land, especially because, you know, it's so precious that your dad left this for you. You know, how can somebody else come and snatch it from you? So to prevent land snatchers from coming your way to snatch your land, build, okay? Build. Also, it's hard to see a man receive chieftaincy title without having his own home. So it's not like a requirement. It's not like, oh, for you to receive chieftaincy title, you have to build. No. But it's just hard to see a man receive chieftaincy title and is living in his father's house. It's just really, really strange. So, you know, if you have plans to receive chieftaincy title, you might just be like, okay, so let me just build my own house as a chief that I am now. Like, let me just build my own house so that I can receive this title and be respected, you know. Because most chieftaincy titled men are quite connected, okay? They have politicians as friends, they have other titled men. So how can they not come and visit you in your father's house? How can they come to your father's house and visit you, Chief Naelgo, one of Idemili North? I'm going to round this up by talking to one or two people, okay, for them to tell us what they think about this. And I'm going to talk to Igbo people specifically. So don't insult nobody in the comments, okay? We're all different. We all have different values. We all have different ways of thinking. If I think that I need to invest instead of build, it's my money. Don't come and insult me. Respect people's opinions. So let us talk to one or two persons and just hear what they have to say. Hi, Joe Casey, what's up? So yeah, I already talked to you before this video and I'm filming now. I want to know what your take is on this matter. Would you rather build in the village or would you rather invest your money in the city? Let's know what you think.
Builders for easy, say wetin happen. Another war won't start where I don't know. Not a smart decision, not a smart decision at all. Me personally, I would build my own house where I live in. If I live in a city like Lagos, which I do, I'd rather build a house in Lagos here. You know, if I don't want to stay there, I can rent it out. You know, I can make use of my property. Unlike it just being in one village where maybe I visit once in 5 years or 6 years. Yeah, I know Igbo people do it, but me personally, I wouldn't want to do it. I would prefer to make a smarter investment than letting my house rot in the East. It makes better sense for me that way.
You just heard George. We talk about this a lot. Me and George talk about this a lot, but I don't want to even share what I think about this. I just want to leave the floor open. What's your take on this? I would like to know. Did you learn something new? Did you know before now that this is why, or these are the reasons why they do not build in the cities first before they build in the village? Do you think that the reasons they have is justifiable? Do you think, you know, do you think it doesn't make sense? Please respect people's opinions as you respond to these questions that I have asked, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to see you pretty soon in my next video. Until then, please stay safe, show some love, okay? Subscribe, share, hit the like button, smash it, and take care of yourself. Bye guys. Mwah.